Take two, guys. It cut me out absolutely straight away. So anyway, just to explain, I'm on my Wi-Fi city internet and it's not a great signal, but that was a bit weird. I went on and it just cut me out instantly. So I can't say anything dodgy has been going on with my internet, and I can't say anything isn't dodgy going on with my internet. Not paranoid, just aware that we are right at the core. We know we are, they know we are, they know it's done. I've just been checking out the stuff that BT did, by the way. This relationship that I have with BT is quite interesting because, as you know, if you go back, I did a live with BT over why my services were disconnected. And then I said to them, is the fact that BT was set up by Maggie Thatcher, who, as we know, was connected to Savile, as we know, Epstein, and were BT involved? And as you know, BT's done an advert about a young girl trying to find her real dad, and she's been searching on Facebook to find her real dad. So anyway, they've had to do a public apology over this about the risks of children searching their families on Crackbook. As you know, they said, I think it was in 2013, they said that social media was ruining it for adoption because children were tracking down their natural families. You can't deny a blood type. I'm not saying that all children that have been adopted have been unnecessarily placed with a safe family, and I'm not saying that there aren't children who haven't been placed in situations that have put them in vulnerable and dangerous situations. The challenge that we have as the public, as a society, and also people who have personal experience of a failure of a miscarriage of justice by the system, be it through social care, medical, prison, any failure to assist and help somebody, really. Not really an entitlement world, but we do have human rights under what we are. And as you know, we're going into a crossover. It's not long now. Got countdown to Brexit for those who are here in Great Britain. To all the British people, hello. I'm here in the UK, but we're talking about a worldwide problem. And no, I'm not in part of anything that's pushing Agenda 21. I'm not part of anything that's any government control things. I'm just a mum who has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder, which is why I do some of these crazy things to show you the extent or listen to the way my body works. It's to explain what Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is, and also Asperger's, or whatever label anyone wants to give. As I've said, the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome label that exists on me is because a guy called surname Erlos and a guy called surname Danlos did some research and went, we found this connective tissue thing, and it was named and coined after them. We are sovereign beings, not labels, but we do things differently. We have to manage things differently, and we have challenges. We have social challenges, social anxiety, and sometimes people have been through such great trauma that it's really difficult to adjust to being around people. And not because you're a narcissist and you don't like people. And I'm really hating this reuse of narcissistic abuse that people are doing, and they're pointing fingers at people going, oh, narcissist, and it's damaging, because if you look underneath somebody who is considered to be a narcissist, it's usually somebody who's been very traumatized and have just put a mask on, basically, and a very fake mask at that. Not even a mask of their true reflection of themselves, but one that protects and safeguards themselves from the world, which is a very horrible place to live in. And I'm really hoping Dean is actually going to be getting involved and getting on board with up to 13. So, and the reason being is because he is actually recording his book. I brought him a dictaphone at Christmas so he can start getting his story out and talking it into a tape and starting to get used to, talking about things to people, because usually, because of his career, if anyone wants to know anything about him privately, he's like, oomph, you know, you don't even know who he's in a relationship with, who his children are, blah, 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 blah. And because Dean is, and as I always say, I can only talk so much about Dean's story, copyrights, not just copyrights, but it's his personal journey in his own healing. But he's really important in all of this because as a runaway from foster care, his story, his research, what he's been looking into, everything that connects the dots to this. And as you know, Dean and I met on Downing Street, with Dean actually being at Downing Street for his own reasons and performed. And it was actually him performing that I just sort of went, that was impressive. And we've been together on off ever since. And 2 children. So, but one of the things that I found really heartbreaking, and I just want to talk about this week, to talk about on this live, is people who are going through this while campaigning. And it's really difficult because what it can do is it can give you a hope diversion. There's nothing worse than faking feelings. There's nothing worse than faking getting up and going through a process, and anger can motivate you in such a way that it can take you down the garden path in the wrong direction for a very, very, very long time. And it's heartbreaking for me to watch fucking bastards. My computer's crashing. I don't know what's going on. Are you all still there? Wow, you're still there. Fantastic. I don't know what the fuck just happened there, but my computer was trying to freeze and scramble all over the place. I don't know if it's done it on your side, but for some reason, I'm actually still here. So what I was going to say is that there is nothing worse and heartbreaking than me to watch each and every parent that comes into this system and then comes into this network asking for help, watching them go through the exact same pattern of these 26-week core processes. I don't know if they're slightly changing. Some of them are sort of pushing for 26 on 26, but and then watching them go through the same belief system that the child's gone, they're done, they're gone, they're adopted, and the child hasn't even been placed. And they drop the baton of being a parent, and then they jump into the campaign, and that's all well and good, and it's honourable, and hello there, and it's worthy, and it does deserve mighty praise, but it's also stupid, and it's stupidity, and it's irresponsible, and it's, look, most people who go into social services do not go into it, or police. And we never talk about the fire brigades. We never point fingers at the fire brigade, are we? But they're still of the same service provider. Doctors, NHS, pharmacists. Yeah, don't get me into pharmaceuticals, but you know, builders that build the houses, the council workers, the people who are helping people into social housing and onto benefits, people who work in the call centres at Universal Credits, all of these people don't wake up in the morning and go, what can I do to fuck somebody's life up today? They all go to work with the best of intentions. And the other thing is they go to work because at the end of the day, they have to pay their bills. Now, the challenge is you've got people going into work because, take carers, so support workers, carers. The challenge you've got is Say you had a lord or a lady and they woke up one day, or their son woke up and went, look, I want to be a carer. I want to really help enable somebody who lives under the label and stigma of, say, Down syndrome, that actually they don't need to be stood at the back of Tesco's packing bags into boxes, or they don't need to be, you know, there actually is a purpose. There is something that they are capable and more skills or talent than anybody else. Just because they're a Downs, they're put off, and they wake up and they go, I want to help that Downs person be enabled. They then got to come down to a 16 grand salary. Now 19 management, maybe 22, 26, lots of paperwork. The majority of people who get into caring have come through the education system, failing their GCSEs, not getting into college, and getting into caring, and maybe taking a carer's qualification levels. The challenge that you've got with that is you've got a lot of people like me, hidden conditions, people with conditions, people just coming out of hospital, people who've been in accidents, people going through trauma. Now we're getting a little bit more specialised. Somebody who is working in mental health and psychology. The challenge is you got somebody who father thought it was really good to say that their son was a psychotherapist because that was the good thing to say. They're not the great ones. They're the pill pushers. But then you've got people who have been through trauma and really want to help. We're not taught psychology of ourselves or people to a level where we truly understand this magnificent, and it is a magnificent world that we live in. Like, seriously, it's a magnificent world. Like, wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Like, what a world we were given. What a world we were blessed in. Don't even get me started in the beauty and the mystery, and I love exploring. I do. I love it when Dean, before we had the kids, or even during the kids, we just literally spend time finding little places, and you know, waking up in complete awe of the majesty of this planet and world that we live in. Like, it's not really often people really get to take the time to just appreciate the stars and the bigger picture of everything, and to smell the roses and enjoy the gardens, and even appreciate your neighbour's garden. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes little old lady or little old guy, you know, spends hours just tending and nurturing their little patch of garden, and we don't really have time to. We just think, oh, you know, someone's made an effort or gone a bit too far. But you know, there's nothing wrong with the planet. What we've got is a lot of traumatized people, and a lot of traumatized people project on other people, and it just creates this whole vicious cycle of nyeh, 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 nyeh. But the challenge is we've really got these problems going on. We really do have problems with sexual exploitation of children and adults and vulnerable people. We really do have a problem with drugs and alcohol ruining our society. We really do have a problem with people that rob and steal and murder, and we really do have these problems with people that are living on streets and struggling, and we do have these poverties, but we also have this other side, and we do really have this luxury living, and we really do have these really beautiful communities and families, and we really do have children maybe rolling off beds. Oh gosh, shit, I've got dead legs. Fuck. No, we don't. Oh, shitters. The sides of me, my body, you don't see. Hang on 2 seconds, guys, because I've got to get I've got my ironing board actually in front of me, by the way. So I'm just going to go down a minute. So anyway, oh shit, I've got pins and needles in my fucking legs. Shit, my legs feel like jelly now. It drives me nuts. It really does. I'm actually talking Dean into coming to conference with me in March, and I really, really, really want to go. The tickets are expensive. It's going to cost us for accommodation and travel. But I'm trying to see how I can do lots of multiple things at a time to sort of bridge it. But the challenge is, oh, fuck it up, I've got pins and needles in my legs. So distracting. The challenge is, it doesn't matter if it's social services, the doctors. When someone's got something, whether they're born with it, whether they just don't eat right and they fuck their bodies up, you know, it's like a car. If you put diesel in a petrol car or petrol in a diesel car, you're going to fuck it up, aren't you? So if you don't MOT it, service it, it's not exactly going to have a long period of time where you can use that car, and the body's exactly the same thing. People are born with things. Yes, it can come through genetic, blah, 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 but it's about the understanding. And that doesn't matter if somebody's just gone through some form of trauma, be it a rape, and they're at a police station or on a side of a road and a neighbour picks them up, or, you know, some stranger picks them up as they're running down the streets, or it doesn't matter if police have gone in and saved, or even if the vigilantes have gone in and pulled somebody out of a different situation. Everybody deals with trauma and challenges in a different way. Every person with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, as Dean will see when he comes to a conference, will all deal with the same injury in exactly a different way. All people of different levels will be sat in different ways. People will judge me because I'm the one that does all the sport and the roller skating. I don't really have EDS. I get just as much persecution in the EDS community as I do out here with the people that don't understand. If you see me with my roller skates on, it's usually because I'm struggling. I've got to go a little bit further than I need to go. So I'll push the buggy and I'll go on my roller skates. So apart from the fact that I haven't got a running buggy, my wheels on the buggy go, so I need a proper running buggy, but it's going to cost me like a lot of money. So anyway, it's about money at the end of the day, isn't it? It's about paying people to help you. So how does somebody who's in a traumatic situation at that time put help out to somebody and put cash on their hand to say, please help me, and how much will it cost for you to help me? Someone's got to grab that hand without an exchange of money. So therefore, somebody has to be put into position to grab that person's hand to pull them out of that situation, or grab their hand to assist them up something that might have been a little bit difficult without that little bit of assistance, you know.